Vlad said that he does not want to interview Suge. But due to the fact that every time he get a chance to interview anybody that knew Suge, I think if Suge was to give Vlad a time of the day, he'd definitely do that motherfucking interview because he knows it's gonna generate not only just some money, but he likes the power that Suge once had. And I can pretty much discern that, Vlad been bullied before. Vlad has been criticized and minimized, as a man by other men. So, when he hears stories that Suge was in where he was bullying somebody or presiding over somebody's manhood and just completely abolishing it, Vlad, is pretty much, looking at Suge the same way as those other individuals that bullied him. Okay, that's what a lot of people are not seeing. Vlad has been bullied before. Anybody that's in the street, you could just tell that go for these police officers, security guards, and certain individuals of power. Once they get into a position of power, they abuse it for all the times that they was abused as a child and in their adolescent years and shit. When they was pretty much being made fun of, and pretty much just was a bitch. So, now that Vlad has damn near 3 million subscribers, and he can interview anybody, that knew Suge or was with Suge at that particular time. He's capitalizing off of it as far as generating some currency, but at the same time, he's still getting a mental climax out of the power that he now has because at one time, he was being bullied, and now he gets to interview individuals basically that can pretty much tarnish and diminish, the image that Suge established in the minds of the people as a bully. So now he get to be a bully in position of power by putting certain individuals on his platform that he knows that has, a negative motive to say the things that they saying. Because even though Mob James was there, the truth is Mob James still has hatred towards Suge because his financial situation, even currently right now, his brother, even though a lot of people say, Suge didn't have nothing to do with that. But at the same particular time, James is angry for even introducing Buntry to Suge. Okay? So by him having so much hatred and anger in his heart towards Suge, he's only getting into a continuity of speaking about the negativity of Suge instead of the positivity, that Suge has done as well. Because let me tell you guys this, even if you my adversary, it's still necessary for me to tell the truth because by me being a man, I am the truth. So even though you might be a bitch ass nigga, I can't minimize myself as a man to your bitch ass behavior and lie on you. Because when you a real nigga, you not even gonna say no fake shit on a fake ass nigga. You gonna speak the real on a fake ass nigga because you real. So, it's not, easy being a real nigga. It's not easy being a motherfucking man. But if you are a man, it's necessary to even tell the truth on your adversary. Even if he's a bitch ass nigga, can't indulge in bitch ass behavior. And when you doing an interview and somebody asks you a question, about your enemy or about somebody that, you see is just, the scum of the earth or a clown, you have to tell the truth in totality. You can't just speak on the negativity. You got to speak on the positivity as well because when you only speak on the negativity, people going to smell that perfume, of bitterness. They going to smell that cheap perfume called jealousy. And even though, Mob James is speaking on certain events that, transpired, what he's not speaking on is when he set up there, and got out the joint, Suge was there for him, hooking him up with his cousin, and things like that. But prior to even putting him on with Big West, looking out for him financially and everything like that, he didn't mention that. Everybody didn't see the interview that Mob James did with the former police officer. So they don't know that Suge looked out, for Mob James because he didn't say that in this recent Vlad interview. And I think that's very imperative to say so you can basically give the truth about the character of Suge all the way. So right now it's pretty much just fuck Suge night and bash him and just jump on the I Hate Suge campaign, and pretty much just tear up his image. And by, like I said, by Vlad having those personal issues that he's had with bullies within his childhood, he's vicariously, getting the opportunity to get back at all bullies by going against somebody who was painted to be the biggest bully of all, Suge motherfucking Knight. You know what I mean? So anybody, a baby mama, a baby mama's baby mama, the cousin of a baby mama of Suge, or an individual that was owed $10 by Suge, Vlad ready to do an interview with him just to sit up there and criticize and minimize the character of Suge Knight. But I want you guys to always remember that the revelation is in the why. So whenever you listen to anybody speak on anybody or anything, always say, why is this individual, saying these things? What's the motivation? Why are you compelled to say these things? My motivation is I just want the truth to be told in totality. And right now it's really not fair because Suge is in a correctional facility and really don't have the liberty to defend himself the way that he would if he had his liberty in society. So right now, everybody is pretty much capitalizing off the opportunity to speak on Suge's name and get some fame, currently right now. But even when Suge fell off and wasn't financially where he was, you didn't hear about people coming out with all of these interviews and things like that. You really didn't see that. You know what I mean? But right now, while he's down, it's time for everybody to break out their motherfucking Jodeci boots and kick Suge while he down. That's pretty much what's going on. You know what I mean? But if they gonna tell the truth, they need to tell the truth all the way. You know what I mean? Talk about how he looked out for you when you got out the joint. You know what I mean? Talk about how hard it is, in the urban community, especially when a brother has came out of a correctional facility to generate legal currency after you got them F's on your report card called felonies. Talk about that, brother. You know what I mean? You got to talk about everything. You know what I mean? You got to talk about the ups and downs and turnarounds. You know what I mean? But you just can't talk about the downs. Well, I'm going to say this because I don't have nothing bad to say about Mob James. A lot of y'all be getting in the comment sections and different videos speaking on him and things like that. But one thing I will have to say is, he had to be somebody for Suge basically to utilize him to even get in touch with the mob, okay? And I don't think that he was some pushover, some L7 motherfucker. You know what I mean? He was a blessing because he put Suge in contact with Buntry. And once Suge came in contact with Buntry, no disrespect to Mob James, but it really wasn't, no need. That's what, James ain't gonna put out there. You know what I mean? That really pretty much once Suge basically seen the individuality, and capabilities of Buntry, James really wasn't a necessity no more. And what James ain't gonna mention is how he's hurt that when Tupac basically on the Live and Die in LA, how he sat up there and gave recognition to a lot of reputable and respectable, motherfuckers, in the mob, his name wasn't mentioned, at all. So of course he gonna say some things, and not saying that some of the things that he's saying about Pac ain't accurate, because I believe there's certain things that he's saying about Pac and the situation that caused Pac's demise. I honestly believe what James is saying about that, but that didn't really take him to say that. That ain't no revelation. Anybody from the outside looking in that got any type of observation with discernment can pretty much see, what led to, Pac's demise, him getting involved in some things that he should have never even got involved in, truth be told, but he's just bitter, and it's a lot of individuals that I've dealt with like that, want my spotlight, but didn't have the capabilities to be in my spotlight. But let me give you young guys some game before I end this video. When you pay attention, you will see that Suge took business classes, okay? You'll see that Suge Knight had education, okay? What's education to my niggas? Urban vernacular. Game, GAME, uncommon information to every other individual that's within the location of the ghetto. Game. By Suge having more knowledge than these guys, Even though the strong, you know what I mean, control the weak, the wise controls the strong. So while you sitting over there trying to be a real nigga and be a gang banger and all of that, motherfucker, you better sit up there and bang the motherfucking books. Because when you ignorant, the fraudulent can take advantage of you, especially if they got more knowledge than you, more game than you. So while you sitting over there getting buff and getting yoked up, you know what I mean, and you sitting over there on huff, that's how your mind supposed to be. Make sure that your mind is equivalent to your physicality. Make sure your mentality is, you understand me, equivalent to your mentality. Hold on for a minute. You know what I mean? Make sure that, you know what I mean, that's equivalent, you know what I mean, to everything that you got pretty much, you know what I mean, going on. You know what I mean? Don't just be muscled up here or you got guns everywhere. Have that, you understand me, with these books, you know what I mean, as well. Because all of them are on one accord saying the Suge pretty much, you know, took advantage and things like that. Okay, but let's say if that's true. And if it's true, how was he able to do that? How was he able to manipulate and do the things that he was able to do? Simply because he had more education. He had more knowledge than them. So even though they, you know, gonna be seen as the tough guys and all of that, at the end of the day, after they tell all them tough stories about who they beat up and all of that, all I'm thinking of, so you was getting sent by Suge. He was sending you. He was instructing you. And then he paid you the way he wanted to pay you. But you supposed to be the gangster. Right. So to all my gangsters, whether you GD, BD, Crip, Blood, Paru, or whatever, make sure that you doing diligent study concerning, you understand me, anything that's going to sit up there and brighten your mind. Anything that's going to bring some enlightenment and some empowerment to your life so you won't get manipulated and taken advantage of, you need to be studying. That go from spirituality, you know what I mean, biology, mathematical, historical, biblical. You need to study, young man. You know what I mean? This is the greatest gun that you could ever have. And as long as you keep on sitting over there reading and studying and things like that, you won't become victimized, you know what I mean, by individuals, you understand me, that realize that you ain't got no motherfucking game. Because no matter what lane in the streets you in, the whole world is an ATM machine. And the PIN number is GAME. It's game. It's game, young man. It's game, young nigga. Read, study. All them individuals that Suge was getting out of bad contracts, was in them bad contracts because they didn't have no game. Dr. Dre, no game. Even recently right now, look at R. Kelly. Legendary. Greatest thing to happen to R&B since Marvin Gaye. But don't own none of his masters. Why? Because he can't read. He ain't got no game in that particular capacity. So by him not having no game in that particular capacity, they was able to rape him and manipulate him and get him for some currency pretty much for an eternity. Because they're going to be making money off of R. Kelly even after he died, due to the fact that his ass ain't got no game. When you don't got no game, you basically make provisions for your ass to be like Mob James on motherfucking interviews and shit, talking about the man that had game. Talking about the man that you jealous of. Talking about the man that had dominion and power that you never had because you didn't have the game to have it. So you can prevent that. Because I done gave you the truth, and right now you in your youth, and I just want to use this particular situation to, you know what I mean, give some promotion and compel the youth to get some education, because Suge would have never been able to go from a goddamn security guard to a damn bodyguard to owning, presiding, you know what I mean, over a $500 million company. They can try to make him look stupid and dumb and all that, you know what I mean, but ain't no way in the world, you know what I mean, you that cold in manipulation without some type of uncommon information, without some type of education. You don't go from a security guard to a bodyguard to a motherfucking bodyguard, you understand me, to presiding over a $500 million company. That's not how it works. You know how you do that? Reading, studying, So don't allow older people in your hood to make you think that being stupid, is being real, or being ignorant, is fly. There's nothing fly about being a dumbass nigga. Because even in the streets, the probability of you getting killed or the probability of the police doing their job better than you in the streets is much higher when you don't got no damn game. So anytime you hear some game being kicked, run to it. You know what I'm saying? And also, let me say this. Y'all stop going on the other man's platform, criticizing and minimizing your brother. You go to the other, minimizing and criticizing your brother. I don't have nothing against Vlad, but it's just crazy how Vlad going on 3 million subscribers and he generating all of these views. He's getting over 1 million, millions of views every fucking day, off of our people. And our people, basically, by clout being a greater drug than crystal meth and heroin, our people run to these particular platforms to verbally crucify each other on the other man's platform. That's crazy to me. Whether you hate the brother or not, especially if you're a gangster, you know what I mean? If you're a gangster, you just respect it. He locked up. He about to do 28 years. It's nothing that you could do that's greater than the mental torment that Suge has right now. Hey man, he's reaping what he has sown. You don't need to add on to that by going on the other man's platform and giving this brother a verbal crucifixion. Because at the end of the day, that's not going to bring Buntry back. At the end of the day, that's not going to fix your financial situation. So, you young people, when you watch these interviews, know that Vlad is always endeavoring, number one, because he's a businessman, to make some money. All right? So, he knows the lingo because he's from the Bay. And he done dealt with enough, of us to present himself as if he's in love with the culture of us. You know what I mean? And by a lot of y'all not having no game, Vlad is able to charm and disarm you guys and make you feel comfortable and basically talking. And by you guys not being skillful and not having no game, you end up pretty much, saying things you ain't got no business saying. You know what I mean? Pretty much within a damn interview, incriminating yourself. Like one brother just did not too long ago. Hopefully the mercies of God, be on his life. Blessings to ARF. But make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you share this video. This is not to, like I said, this ain't to bash him or any of that, because some of the same thing that he's saying, Black Jesus then said the same thing. That's his brother. He done said the same thing, as well. It's just that, sometimes James will add his own flavor and do his own, special sauce within these stories and shit. But, I wasn't there, But by me not being there, I have to understand that it's 3 sides to every story. It's they side, Suge's side, and it's the truth. So, when you listen to these stories, stop being a fan, be a man, and just analyze things, so you can rightly divide, the truth. Hope you guys live as long as you want, never want as long as you live. Stay blessed. Read. Do something that, if you want to be a successful black man, do something that most niggas don't do. Read. Love you.